So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, according to your time zone, guys. So, yeah, so today we'll be discussing about the replica set, and we'll be discussing about the scaling up, how to do it manually, and we'll also discuss about the rolling updates and role status, all that. Okay. So, in our previous session, we got to know that how to create a deployment file and how to add a service for that particular deployment file, and how to make our pods exposed by using node port service, all that we were discussing in our previous class. So now we'll see how actually this Kubernetes behaves in real production failures and upgrades. Okay, with zero downtime, how actually this Kubernetes is actually make the end user to feel that there is no changes in the particular app application, and also makes our developer to run user friendly. So we'll see, we'll be looking into this particular replica set. Okay, so basically replica set itself is like self-healing. Okay, so what it's going to do is, see, whenever we've observed, right, in a previous class in deployment file. Okay, what we have done, when you're creating a deployment file, we mentioned a replica set as how many number of copies you want to run, how many pods copies you want to run. I want to run 2 pods, or I want to run 3 pods. So in the replica set you would have mentioned 3 or 4 or 5 according to your use case. So now what this replica set will do is, replica set will make sure and it will monitor that whatever, how many numbers of copies you mentioned, all those are running or not. Suppose in case if any one of the pod is getting died, it will again recreate that particular pod with zero downtime. It will recreate and will make sure it is running up and successful here. Okay, yeah. So let's see how this actually replica set is actually working here. See, now let's say for example, consider for example, let me check in my master node, is there any pods running or not? So kubectl get pods. So from here in my default namespace, there is no pods running here. So I already have a deployment file, guys. If you want, you can check my deployment file. So from here you come to know that yes, I'm running a deployment in the name like nginx deployment. So currently 2 pods are going to run. Okay, yeah. So what are the pods? Inside the pod, which particular containers are going to run. So from here you come to know that yes, so the containers is actually nginx latest. So nginx latest particular docker image is going to run on my container, that is nginx. So I have a container in the name like nginx. So that container is actually pulling up an image like nginx latest. Okay, so that is what is going to run. Now let me apply this particular file, kubectl apply -f deployment.yaml. So when I give apply here, from here you come to know that this deployment file is going to get executed, and from there these 2 pods are going to run. Okay, let's try to see what are the 2 pods that are going to run. So if you observe here, kubectl get pods here. So from here you come to know that according to my deployment, okay, the 2 pods are going to run here. Yes, now successfully these 2 pods are running here. Now let's see how this replicas actually works. I told you, right, replicas is like self-healing. Like let's say for example, if I delete any one of the pod here, what this replica will do is, replica will try to monitor like how many copies we have mentioned here. 2 copies is been going to run here. So now if any one pod is going to go down, ultimately my replicas will actually recreate that new pod, okay, with the new IP address as well. Okay, yeah. So how that is going to do it here, let's say for example, let me try to delete this pod by running kubectl delete the pod, and the pod name is going to be like this. Copy down this and paste it over here. So successfully we have deleted this pod. Okay, now but if you observe here, with zero downtime it has recreated a new pod. Okay, with zero downtime it recreated a new pod. Okay, understood, right? So this is how your replica set actually works, like a self-healing, okay, for the pods. Okay, I hope this should be clear here. Okay, fine. Yeah, now we'll actually look into how to scale up and how to scale down with zero downtime. So we are actually doing it manual method, guys. Okay, so when we go with certain kind of projects, I don't know, then I'll be showing like how auto scaling, all that. But right now what we are trying to do is we are actually going with the manual method. With the help of manual method, we are actually trying to uh, scale up the pods and scale down the pods. Okay, so when you actually scale up, what is going to happen? When you scale down, what is going to happen? All that we'll discuss now. See, now let's say for example, okay, for example, I'm just going to scale up. Okay, if you want to scale up, right now currently we have two pods running, right? According to my deployment, two pods are running right now. Okay, yeah. Now if I try to scale up, so when you scale up, generally, when in case if you have too much of traffic, let's say for example, we are running an application, okay, maybe a production application like kind of any website, okay, maybe e-commerce website. Let's say we have a lot of end user traffic is going on now. A lot of people are actually entering to our website. They are actually trying to do some activity in our website. So we'll have a lot of loads. Too much of loads will be there. So you know, right, what happens if too much of loads is there? Ultimately the pod can't sustain all that. So there might be a chances of deleting the pod. Ultimately it is going to delete. The end user is going to face a trouble in accessing the application. So in that case, what you can do is you can actually scale up. Okay, you can scale up the pods. Okay, ultimately you can divert the traffic. Okay, yes. So this is how you can do it. So how do you do that is, see, generally, you know, right, with the help of replica set only, we can actually scale up the pods, right? You know, so if you want to scale up, so you have to just run this command. So kubectl scale deployment. Okay, and what is the deployment name? To which deployment you are doing this? Okay, to which deployment pods you are going to do this? So you have to mention this kubectl scale for the deployment, and the deployment name is nginx deployment, and we are trying to create 5 pods. So we are increasing into 5 pods. So this is how you scale up. So now let me try to copy down this. I hope this should be clear, right? See, generally in deployment, what will happen, guys? Whenever you write down a deployment, when you write an object like deployment, what you'll mention? So in the deployment, you'll try to mention a replica set, like how many copies of pods you want to run. So now if you mention like 2 pods or 3 pods, so according to that, what will happen? Your replica set will try to run the pods in your worker nodes. Okay, and your replica set also makes sure that the 2 pods will be running throughout. Okay, how many ever you mention, those copies will run throughout. If anything goes down also, it will actually self-heal the pod and will recreate a new pod and will start making to run up. Okay, that is what it's going to do. Same way here also, if you want to scale up, we have to go with this replicas only. Okay, let's try to copy down this. Just go to your master node. So now if you observe kubectl get pods, so in my case, only 2 pods have been running here. Now let me scale up to 5. Let me paste it here. Let me scale to 5, give enter here. Now successfully it should get scaled up. If you want, you can check it the pods by running kubectl get pods here. You can see it started running here. It started to create container and it's up and running here. Okay, now successfully it started running here. Successfully it started, all the 5 pods started running here. Okay, now in case if you want to scale down, see, with zero downtime, we are all doing all this. Now let me bring it back to only 2. I want only 2 pods should be running. So what will happen? Other 3 pods, the other 3 pods will get terminated and it get deleted as well. So now if you want, you can check here. See, with zero downtime, all the other 3 pods got deleted. Okay, and only 2 pods have started running here. Understood, right? I hope this should be clear here. Okay, yeah, fine. So now we'll look into how to roll out and how to roll back. Okay, let's say for example, okay, consider for example, currently we are running a pod, and that pod is running a container which is running an image like nginx latest image. Now let's say I want to update to nginx 1.25 with zero downtime. I want to update it to nginx 1.25. Okay, I want to update to 1.25. How do you update it? So if you want to update it, you can actually run this particular command. Okay, that is kubectl set image, and we have to mention for the deployment, right? We are actually running for the deployment, right? So you have to mention the deployment and the deployment name, followed by your container name, and in the container you have to mention the image version. Okay, so if you observe in my case, I am running the latest image. If you really don't know, you can look into my deployment file. From my deployment file you can come to know that. If you try to observe here, so I am running the docker image as the latest image. Okay, so end of the day my container nginx is running the docker image nginx latest. Now in from my nginx latest, if I want to update to nginx 1.25 version with zero downtime, I want to roll out. Okay, I want to roll out to 1.25 version. So what actually happens, let's say whenever you try to roll out, or when you try to roll back, what actually happens is, whenever, let's say when you're trying to update it, update it, what will happen here is the previous pods, let's say my previous pods is running in nginx latest version, the containers inside the pods which was running the latest version. So what will happen to that is, all that will get terminated, and whichever the image that we have mentioned in the update, okay, that will create, end of the day, it see all your old pods will get deleted. You need to understand like this. Okay, whenever you are updating, all your old pods will get deleted along with the container, and new pods will get created within new container with the new docker version into it, I mean docker image version into it. So now previously my older pods which was having the container and the docker image running into was nginx latest, so all that will get deleted and terminated, will get deleted. Okay, and now when I update it, the new pods will get started to run. It will just start to create, and from there my container will start to create, that is nginx container, and the nginx container will pull the image as nginx 1.25 version. Okay, nginx 1.25 version. Okay, it will just run it as 1.25 version. Understood, right? It will run it as 1.25 version. Okay, so from here also you can observe here. So when an administrator try to upgrade it, what will happen, all the old pods will get removed gradually and new pods will get added. Okay, and you can see app will be always available. See, end of the day we have to make sure that the application should be always up and running. So this is our goal. Okay, whether you roll out or will you roll back, okay, we have to make sure that our application is running for 24/7. This is our goal. Okay, so with zero downtime, how we are going to do that? Now in my case, you know that currently we are running that currently my nginx container is running latest image. Now I'm just going to update it to 1.25 version. Let me update to 1.25 version. If you just copy down this, go here, let me paste it over here. kubectl set image, okay, for the deployment, and the deployment name is nginx deployment, but my container name is nginx, right? So I have to make sure the container name is nginx. Okay, I have to make sure it container name is nginx. So successfully it has been updated here. Okay, very good. Successfully we have updated this image. Okay, we have updated this image. Now how do I come to know that it is updated or not? How do I come to know this? See, you can come to know by checking the pods, kubectl pods -o wide. So from here, maybe most of the time you cannot come to know from here also. What you can do is you can describe the pod. From by describing the pod, you come to know that whether we are running the docker image as nginx latest or whether we are running 1.25 version. So what you can do is you can run this command kubectl, okay, describe the pods, and the pod name is Okay, the pod name is this. You can just paste it. So from here you come to know that yes, currently we are running Nginx 1.25 version. Okay, you understood, right? What happened to the older pods? The older pods got terminated and it got deleted, guys. Now the new pods would have got created when I tried to update, right? The new pods would have got created with the new container which is running the image as Nginx 1.25. So you can check it by this way, or you can even check it by checking the rollout status. How do you come to know the rollout status? You can check it out by running kubectl rollout status deployment nginx deployment. You can just copy down this. So if you get the output like nginx deployment successfully deployed rollout, okay, anyway, we got to know, right? We got to know by describing the pod itself, we come to know that it is rolled out or not. But still, if you want to check out, you can check it out by running this command. You come to know that it is successfully rolled out. Yeah, we know that. Okay, now suppose, guys, okay, suppose, see, generally, you know, right, what happens internally is, so whenever you try to update it, what will happen? The new replica set will try to create that, and new pods will start to run, and old pods will terminate, and traffic shifts gradually according to that. Okay, now if you want to check out the history, if you want to check out that which rollout history, if you want to check out the rollout history, you can run this command kubectl rollout history deployment and nginx deployment. You can copy down this particular command, go to here, your master node. So in your master node, just paste it out here. So when you give enter here, from here you come to know that yes, so there has been this changes, and this changes has not caused any kind of issues here. It has not caused any kind of issues. Okay, now if you want to undo back, I mean, I want to go back to my previous version, that is, I want to go back to my nginx latest version. If you want to roll out, let's say if you want to roll out, so rollout is also known as rollback, guys. If you want to roll out, you can just run this command kubectl. Okay, you can just run this command kubectl rollout undo the deployment nginx deployment. So if you want, you can cross check this by running this command. Let's paste it over here. So now successfully it should get rolled out, guys. If you want, you can cross check it by running kubectl get pods -o wide. So now you can see here, clearly you can see here, this old pods are getting terminated. Old pods mean what? The containers, right, which were running the Docker image as 1.25 version, that would got terminated, and the nginx container would start running now. I mean, you know what my replicas is going to do is it is going to recreate the pod with that particular container which is running the Docker image as nginx latest. Okay, now if you want, you can cross check it by running kubectl get pods -o. Now you can check it, and you can also, you know, right, how to describe it. You can describe the pod by running kubectl describe the pod and mention the pod name here. Copy down this, paste this. So from here, guys, we got to know that we are getting the older version, that is the nginx latest. So you understood, right, how to roll up and how to roll down, roll back, all that you understood, right? See, with zero downtime, we make sure that application is running, okay, without any issues. Okay, with zero downtime, we were able to roll up and we were able to roll back. Okay, so this is how you do it with the help of this kubectl commands. Okay, so that's it for today's session, guys. Thank you all. We'll continue the next session. Okay, thank you, guys.